Hello everyone, it's Pixel again, and here is the final chapter of The Star in Yellow, which is part 2 of chapter 3, just throwing that out there. But, so yeah, before we get into this, first and foremost, disclaimer, I own nothing, everything belongs to the rightful owners, so please go and support them and be nice please, and also that some viewers may find some of this a bit disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised, please. So yeah, here we are. Chapter 3, Part 2. So, it starts off with Spike, Rainbow Dash, and Saddle Stitch going back to the library after they managed to get most of, if not all of the letters that Twilight sent. And Spike asks him if Twilight will be okay once they destroy everything that has to do with the book. Sorry about that, just trying to get comfy. And Saddle Stitch doesn't know. If Twilight will get 100% better if they do this and get rid of the book, but it might do the trick. And of course, he's kind of cold about it, thinking that Twilight will be a wreck, a mess for the rest of her life. And of course, Rainbow Dash defends Twilight. But before they can get into a fight, they go to Twilight's bedroom door, and Saddle Stitch hears Twilight talking, and knowing what this might do to her, at least at this point it'll be over and Twilight will hopefully go back to normal. But they're not out of the woods yet, because Saddle Stitch realizes that Twilight still has the book, and Rainbow Dash is like, how is that possible? We burnt the book. And Saddle Stitch realizes that Twilight ended up switching the book covers. Sorry about that, excuse me. And Twilight yells at both of them, at both Rainbow Dash and Saddle Stitch, that she can hear them, and Rainbow asks if Twilight is okay, and she says that she's more than okay, and that Twilight reveals that she knew that they burnt all the letters. But she also is going to make sure that everyone in Ponyville reads about Yellow Star. And that since the day is still going on, the ponies will be coming to get books out of the library. So, Saddle Stitch tells Spike that Twilight still has the book, and he tells Spike that Twilight could have been downstairs last night when Spike wasn't there. And he basically... Apparently Twilight wrote in all of the books what was on the letters in the books. And basically they can't read them because if they do... Sorry about that. Then they're gonna be... They'll go insane if they do so. And... basically, they're kind of... Basically, Spike, Saddle Stitch, and Rainbow Dash are now... They kind of now have no other choice but to burn it. And we actually see that Yellow Star... We actually cut to Twilight and Yellow Star. And she asks Twilight why she told them, and that they'll end up hurting her again with fire, and that she also tells Twilight that she can't let them do that because it will kill her, to say the very least. And Twilight tells her not to worry, and that she actually didn't write anything in the books, and that it was just a distraction, and that so that they can leave and she can finish reading the book. And apparently Rainbow Dash and Spike are outside throwing the books into basically some kind of sack and throwing them in a pile to burn them. And Twilight doesn't even bat an eye at that because she's been obsessed with this one book. So, yeah. Twilight, which they do, and Twilight actually once again continues with this distraction by telling everyone that Rainbow Dash is apparently burning books again. And yeah, everyone who was within earshot comes over to see what all this is about, and of course they get the wrong idea. And Spike gets the feeling that this might get ugly, but Rainbow Dash tries to take care of it by telling the citizens of Ponyville to go back home and saying that she's just burning evil books, and yeah, that goes about as well as it does, because yeah. And of course Saddle Stitch is just he basically just pretends he doesn't know Spike or Dash. And yeah. But he does tell both Rainbow Dash and Spike that they need to find Twilight and stop her from reading the book. And apparently Twilight ended up climbing out the window. And Saddlestitch sees Twilight running with the book and I guess a lamp as well, so she could see. And of course he tells someone to stop her, but no one does. And Rainbow Dash figures that that there's one way out of this, and that so she basically takes Spike into the air and makes him do that fire thing that he does when he sends a letter to Princess Celestia, and apparently and yeah, just before, or I think actually she ends up turning the, yeah, like, I think she actually teleports the ponies away. Rainbow Dash uses Spike, I think, to teleport the ponies away. But she doesn't get all of them, and Mrs. Cake is about to tell Rainbow Dash that she'll be in a lot of trouble if she doesn't stop right now, but of course she just uses Spike to teleport her away. And she actually asks Spike if the fire that she just used on the ponies was the teleporting fire instead of the burning kind, I guess. Yeah, that's what she does. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Anywho. So yeah. And apparently Spike, that, I guess, apparently they're somewhere where there's mail. And yeah, Saddlestitch tells them that they have to, of course, they have to go find Twilight before it's too late. And also get back the book. And we actually then cut to Princess Celestia, where she seems to be, you know, she seems to want a little break from her princess duties. So, yeah. And she actually ends up getting a letter from Twilight. Well, actually, no, she doesn't. Instead, Mare pops up. Which, yeah, like... And of course more pops come, and apparently Spike accidentally teleported all the ponies to Canterlot Castle. And Celestia demands to know what the meaning of this is, because... Well, actually, yeah, she does get a letter first, and then the ponies that Rainbow Dash teleported away with Spike's magical fire breath, I think. And she looks at the scroll, and it opens, and Celestia seems to know what this is. And we cut back to Twilight and Yellowstar. Apparently, I think, yeah, Twilight is somewhere in Sweet Apple Acres in an old barn that apparently the Apple family apparently isn't using at the moment, or if it's just abandoned. But yeah, anywho. And Twilight, at least from her perspective, she still doesn't have her horn because she apparently gave it to Yellowstar. And she asks Yellowstar for some light, but Yellowstar seems to be rather... She says that they played together, and that they were all happy back then. And she wonders why did it change? Why did everything get so wrong and complex? And so complicated. And that not Celestia. She tells Twilight that once Yellowstar is real, she's going to be Princess of all of Equestria, and no pony won't have to change. And that she'll get rid of everything. But before they can finish the story, Yellowstar tells Twilight that she has to face her, and she doesn't know what to do because it seems to Yellowstar at least, I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but she seems to be, if whoever she's talking about, possibly Silver Crescent, beats her, then she loses. But if she fights, she'll still lose. So, but she does tell herself that she is not going to let it get the best. She's not going... Well, she actually says she doesn't know if there will be any of herself left. And she doesn't mind if Twilight just reads the book a little slower. I am so sorry, excuse me. But Twilight refuses, saying that no, you can't be scared. You're the best pony. Everyone else thinks I'm crazy and that she's evil, and that Yellowstar is evil. But Twilight says that she knows that Yellowstar is a good pony who has a good heart, and that she's just hurt. And that it isn't her fault that this happened. And that Twilight will, as she turns the next page, she says that they'll both do it together, and Yellowstar agrees. So we then see Saddle Stitch, Rainbow Dash, and Spike trying... It seems that they're trying to come up with a plan, because Spike tells him that they need to find Twilight before anything else happens. But Rainbow tells her that... Sorry, just adjusting my legs. That she's not anywhere in Ponyville. But Twilight couldn't have gotten far away from them. And that Twilight is still is their friend. And that she needs their help. But Saddle Stitch is like, no, she needs your help. Because he thinks that it's too late, since Twilight has already finished the book before they could reach her. Well, he assumes that, I think. Yeah. And of course, he thinks that they're all going to be in big trouble once Princess Celestia finds out, and Princess Celestia appears behind them. So, yeah, and Celestia doesn't seem to be happy with Saddle Stitch, because she asks where Twilight is and the star in yellow. And of course, he tries to explain what happened, and Spike actually fesses up to everything that, and basically what's now happening. But Celestia doesn't... She says that she doesn't blame them. She doesn't blame Spike or Rainbow Dash, but instead, she blames Saddle Stitch. Because, well, yeah, he basically should have kept the book under better security, I should say. But, and yeah, Celestia actually tells that the magic of the book, The Star in Yellow, is equal to her own, and that it's been hiding from her. And she tells them to search the area and to find Twilight. And yeah, Spike and... We then see Twilight back in the barn with Yellow Star, and she tells Yellow Star not to worry and that they did it and they're safe now, because apparently, let's see, apparently, Twilight accidentally knocked over the lamp and it caught fire, and Twilight she actually tries to save the book and to finish the story, but Yellow Star appears before Twilight and thinks that, telling her that this is the end of the story, that it's mere pages away. And she actually, before she leaves, she asks Twilight, what is it like to be real? And she tells Yellow Star that it's, well, basically, You start in one place and you finish in another place. You learn new things. You basically, you grow up. And Yellow Star says that, once again, that she will fix everything. That she'll make everyone happy, and they'll be the star of their own stories now. So, and she actually tells Twilight that when she was younger, everything was perfect, and she wants it back. But of course the fire is still there, and apparently, and of course it seems to end up basically consuming Yellow Star, and Twilight calls out for her, begging Yellow Star to help her. But Yellow Star tells her to save the book and not to let her burn, since it seems that she can't touch the book. So, yeah. Yellow Star then... she tells Twilight that she's about to go. She tells Twilight goodbye, as she actually... Yellow Star ends up rescuing Twilight as she's trying to save the book from burning. And she tells Twilight goodbye, and that she will always be... and that Twilight will always be her most faithful friend. So... yeah. And we actually cut back to Ponyville, where the guards and Rainbow Dash are looking for Twilight. But they actually do find basically Big Mac shows up and with an unconscious Twilight, and of course basically Big Mac tells how he found her unconscious. So yeah. But Saddle Stitch is happy because the book is burnt and gone, this time for real, because, well, yeah, given everything, it seems like. But Celestia tells him that the book was dangerous, but it was something that's neither good. But given everything that's happened, it's not good either, I'm guessing. So Celestia says that she's going to take Twilight back to Canterlot to recover. And yeah, and she does punish Saddle Stitch for letting this all happen. That he has to get new books that everyone can enjoy. So, yeah, and Twilight wakes up in Canterlot, and she thinks Princess Celestia is Yellow Star, but Celestia tells her that Yellow Star is gone forever, and that she tells the princess that there was a fire and she nearly had the book, and that Yellow Star was so scared and wanted to be free so badly. But Celestia comforts her, saying that that the book was filled with powerful, unrestrained magic that was overwhelming Twilight, and she tells Twilight not to be upset about Yellow Star because she wasn't real, but Twilight says no, in the end she was real. And apparently she tells Twilight is surprised that the princess knows it, and she says that the real world doesn't have happy endings because nothing ever ends, and that Yellow Star wasn't evil, but she was dangerous. Because she would have... Because if she were to rule all of Equestria, she would pull it down with all the wisdom of a scared little filly who just wants the world to be happy like it was before. Sorry about that. And then Twilight actually puts 2 and 2 together. She connects the dots because she looks at Celestia's cutie mark, realizing that Princess Celestia wrote this book. But Celestia she basically kind of confirms that she was young and she was naive. So and that basically what this book was, it was basically the reimaginings of Celestia when she was younger. And Yellow Star was kind of a stand-in for her, but because, well, Celestia, of course, was younger at the time, so, the book was born out of her unstable magic. It was based on, of course, all of her joy, her love, her compassion, but also all of her sadness and heartbreak as well. And yeah, so Twilight actually asks the princess if she could write it again, and that Yellow Star wasn't a bad pony and that she deserves a happy ending. But Celestia tells her no, even if she wanted to, the power of the book it seems that the power of the book won't happen again. And she tells Twilight to rest now. And since the book is also now destroyed, its magic is broken. And not even 1,000 copies could make Yellow Star live again. And Twilight does go back to Ponyville. But, well, actually, 1 week later goes by, and Twilight apparently is at a desk with some ink pots and parchment paper, where even though she knows that Celestia is telling the truth, that Yellow Star is gone, but Twilight feels like, in an act of friendship, she feels the need to give Yellow Star closure. And this story ends with this. The words stared back at her. Once upon a time, there was a lovely little pony called Yellow Star, who lived with her sister and mother and father in the happiest village ever. The sky was always blue, and the birds always sang. And nothing bad ever happened to her. It wasn't good enough. Twilight's critical nagged at her as she scribbled over what she had written. Finally, with a smile, she lowered the quill once more and scribbled down the final words. There, she whispered. Perfect. And they all lived happily ever after, forever and ever and ever. The end. So yeah, that was The Star in Yellow. Now, of course, going back on, so yeah, like I said, the book in this, The Star Journal, was apparently made from like the imaginings of Celestia when she was a child, and it seems that both Yellow Star and Silver Crescent were were meant to represent Celestia and Luna, and I always kind of got the feeling that Yellow Star and Celestia were actually the same person, or pony in this case, because, well, I mean, because Celestia's cutie mark is the sun. She raises the sun, and the sun is technically a star. Well, actually, yeah, the sun is a star. And also Silver Crescent, who is supposed to be in the story, is Luna, because, like, you know how, I'm guessing it's also it was a nod to, like, a crescent moon, which is why she's called Silver Crescent. So, I am so sorry, excuse me. And it actually, there are some, notes that explain a lot better as to what's actually going on in this story. It explains it better than I ever could, but yeah, so yeah, basically Twilight went to... So yeah, but that's also the thing with Yellow Star, is that Yellow Star apparently isn't evil, she's just still dangerous. Like, it's almost like she can't control her magic, and knowing the truth at the end, and yeah, basically, yeah, like, she was, yeah, because it would make sense for Yellow Star to act this way, because she was because Celestia wrote it when she was younger, and it would make sense that Yellow Star would kinda sorta reflect that. So yeah, that's all I have for now. I might actually do a follow-up on this, because, well, there's a lot to talk about, so yeah. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you all for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!